Do you ever struggle with test anxiety, and if so, how do you deal with it? I did it for physics and OChem, and I was going through it, and I was oh my god, I'm so stupid, I can't get through anything.
Bring me back to reality, because sometimes I feel like I'm just like so high up and overwhelmed.
Yeah. How should I study for the OAT? What is considered an average score? What are the best and worst parts of optometry school so far? My name is Con, and today I have...
Oh, I
Okay, take two. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Con, and today I have
Karina
as my guest. Today we're gonna do a Q&A of all the questions you guys sent in through Instagram. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Do we have any tips for incoming clinicians or optometry students? So I'm assuming she means any tips for incoming optometry students for clinic and then school as well.
Okay.
For me, I think if you're an incoming optometry student and you're just on break right now, just take your break. Mm-hmm. There's no need to prepare for academics or anything. You'll get there when you get there. But right now, just like enjoy your time off.
Yeah, I definitely think so, because I don't think there's anything that you can necessarily do to kind of put yourself over anybody else, because either way, going in, everyone's in the same baseline is what I feel like. So just enjoy your break while you definitely can.
Yeah, and also like the way they teach us, they teach you from the beginning, so there's really no point. What do you do outside of studying, and how much time do you have it with school?
What do you do outside of studying? I eat a lot. Like, I go out to eat a lot. I don't find that I have a lot of time outside of studying, so I like to use my little breaks to like go out to a restaurant and like try something new. It's one of the benefits of being in Houston, especially with such great food. So I kind of use that as like a study break and also time to like replenish the mind, you know? How much time do you have for it with school? I think it depends.
It depends on the time of the year. I have a lot of free time at the beginning of the year, and then exams will pick up, and then we kind of have less time to study. Yeah. But I will say there are 2 to 3 weeks of just studying, but then you do have the breaks in between that you have time for everything else. Right. I personally like going out to eat as well, like hang out with friends and family, but also watching Netflix and Hulu. And YouTube. The amount of hours I spend on YouTube is absolutely insane. Yeah. Okay, next. How useful is learning Spanish for optometry school?
You answer this one.
It's very useful because we live in Houston and I'm very useless.
I definitely think that you should learn at least the basic Spanish, because I think a lot of our classmates know basic Spanish, and so far a lot of them have been getting by. They have, in our clinic, we do have some translators who come and help if you have a patient who only speaks Spanish. And they all say like, oh, I wish I knew Spanish, I wish I knew Spanish. So that's from what I can tell. I mean, I wouldn't really know.
I mean, you're right. Like, the basic Spanish is really good.
Yeah,
like, especially on vision screens. Like, just being able to say, open your eyes, close your eyes, look here.
Yeah. Don't move your head.
Don't move your head, or move your head.
Yeah.
Just, like, little basic things, like, that you can say is very useful. Yeah. And I guess at the end where you're really trying to explain something to someone, that's when you can have the translator come in and help you out. So I will say a lot of things we do are objective, so we don't need a translator for most of the time, but the preliminary exams and all that stuff, and at the end where you really need someone to explain to the patient what's going on, that's when you can have someone come in. Do you ever struggle with test anxiety, and if so, how do you deal with it?
Whew, heavy. It's getting heavy in here. I'm just kidding. Okay, so speaking from personal experience, I've struggled with test anxiety, especially during the first year, where it's kind of difficult because you don't know what to expect. So that was kind of hard. And I still struggle with it now, because I don't know, I just get so anxious because I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is it, this is the exam, this is the moment that I've been studying for. I don't know, just something about that gives me anxiety. But what I like to do is, first of all, I have a great support system. I made sure that I made friends that I can count on and I can go to, and I can ask me hey, I'm kind of freaking out, and then they kind of
talk you down.
Yes, and bring me back to reality, because sometimes I feel like I'm just so high up and overwhelmed, and it's kind of nice to have a friend like Con, obviously, great friend, to kind of bring me down to reality and tell me
here it's fine. it's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's just one exam. We are okay. Yes. Let's breathe.
Yeah, I have to keep reminding myself that.
To breathe.
You can always bounce back too, is something that I keep in mind. Like, it's okay. Like, even if I do not so great on this one, I'm just going to work harder for the next one and try to battle that one out. So just trying to keep myself on the ground, if that even makes sense. Like, trying to keep myself here, because it's so easy to get caught up in like, oh my god, what if I fail this exam and then I fail the next one, and then like don't overwhelm yourself. Don't think about that. Like, just think about the now and just say it's okay.
And I feel like deep breath. Yeah, like the idea of going into the exam is really scary, but once you're in it, like that just goes away.
Yeah, you're just in the zone.
Yeah, you're just gonna be in the zone. And like what you said, like the next one, like if you do bad, then you always have the next one, and you can always go into, you know, office hours, and we have tutors if you have any issues. So you can always better yourself for the next run if you do bad. So if you have that mentality that everything is gonna be okay, then I guess that will help with the test anxiety a little bit more.
Yeah, I would also say like find if you can figure out what is making you kind of anxious and then eliminate that if possible also helps, because remember,
yours is coffee.
Oh my gosh, I stopped drinking coffee during exam weeks because then I would just get really, really jittery. Now I'm starting able to handle coffee.
Okay, because you know what, you went off of coffee and then you slowly drank tea, like a little bit, and then you drank more tea, and now you built up to coffee
again. Yeah, but I definitely remember coffee. But then I also used to sit in the very front of the class during exams, and I thought like, oh, it'll be better, I won't have to worry about anyone. But literally everyone has to walk by you to turn in their test at the front. So I realized that was making me anxious because everyone was turning in their tests. Everyone. I thought it was everyone. So I was just like, oh my god.
It's probably like 5 people at like different 5-minute intervals.
Exactly. But like during the exam, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm barely on this question. I'm not even halfway done, and people are already turning in their exams and blah, blah, blah. And like we have the same time amount. So like there was no reason for me to freak out. And then I would rush through it, turn in the exam. I'd look to the class, and like more than half the class is still there. So like I realized that would psych me out, and that's why this year I started sitting in the back
with me.
Yes, and that definitely helped, because now I see like people will get up, but I'm just like, half the class is still here. Like I have time. Like why am I gonna freak myself out about that? So just eliminating little things that you know trigger your anxiety, I think help.
That's a good, very well detailed answer.
Oh.
How did you manage to study for the OAT and your school courses simultaneously? I studied in the summer.
I also studied in the summer.
Yeah, I think that's actually a better thing to do, because you can dedicate your full undivided attention to the OAT. I think that might be really hard to do school and OAT at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked to anyone who actually like took the OAT while they were in school.
I have. Like, actually, my roommate, Karina, if you're watching this, she was actually telling me that she was taking the OAT and school at the same time, and it was really stressful, and like that semester was probably like one of the worst. So don't recommend it. How long did you spend studying for the OAT?
I took like 2 months.
2.5 months for me.
Yeah. Same. Okay. And then we this was during the summer, so we had a full 2 months. Keep that in mind.
How should I study for the OAT? What is considered an average score?
Okay.
I personally think studying for the OAT, what I did was I didn't study for the English or math section, because English you can't really study for. Math, I was just like, you know what, we'll just go for it. Because I really think optometry school, I totally winged it.
Oh my god.
I didn't study
That's
for
the part
math.
I studied the most.
Really?
I suck at math.
I was like, you know what? I can definitely, I think I can just look at it and like move stuff around. I don't know. I completely didn't study for it.
Oh my gosh.
But I spent a lot of time on the science section. So what I did was I studied I broke it down into, there's 4 science section, and I spent more than a week on every single part just by itself. And then toward the end, I just look at my flashcards, and then I did practice exams. Practice exam is honestly the biggest thing, and that will help you so much. Because learning the material is one thing, but you know, seeing how well you can apply the material and the information. That's what you're going to be tested on.
Mm-hmm.
So I used Kaplan course, the self-paced one. They gave me a lot of material for me to use, and so I really like that. Like, it was giving like all this plethora of information that I just have to study.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say all of their online exams are outdated. I don't think it has been changed for a really long time. So when I took my OAT, it wasn't similar to the questions at all. But I was told that I think Exam Cracker is one of the newer ones. Like, their practice questions were a lot similar to the OAT questions. So yeah, you can self-study and do Exam Cracker, or you can do the test, the class, if you don't think you're disciplined and can, you know, sit there and know what you need to do every day.
Yeah.
How did you study for it?
So kind of similar to you. So I just bought the Kaplan OAT book. It's just this one giant book, and I basically self-studied. So I counted how many chapters were in each section, and then I kind of divided that up in the course of like 2 months, so like 8 weeks. And then I like broke that up, so I did like a little bit of each category a day, and I try to, I think, accomplish at least like 1 to 2 chapters a day of those sections. And then I would do the questions in the back. I forget how relevant those were to like the actual like OAT questions.
I mean, just like practice good questions in general, just applying your
Yeah.
knowledge is good.
Yeah, so I basically made a calendar of like spreading all of it out, and then I also included 4 practice exams in there so that I could quiz myself towards it and get the feel for it. So then once it came to the actual exam, like I was just like, okay, I've done enough exams at this point that I kind of know the feel of it. But I found mine online. Like, I know OAT itself, they have a free one,
but that
one
you have
is
to time
not
yourself. Even similar to the OAT. That one was ridiculously easy. Like, you didn't even have to think for that one.
But that was the first one I ever did, so that was kind of nice.
Okay,
because then I was just like, okay, am I at least getting the basic stuff?
You know what my first questions were?
What?
I did the OAT Destroyer.
Oh my god.
That Destroyer. That was hard. Those questions were very, very hard.
Oh my god.
I did it for physics and OChem, and I was going through it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. I can't get through anything. But I will say, even though I was demoralized, those were my 2 highest scoring sections. So
hey, so it really does prepare you.
It does prepare you.
I didn't use
it. Was
that
hard. It made me really sad because I think I spent like 30 minutes on like 1 page.
That's so funny.
But it does prepare you.
It does. Yeah. And then I took the Kaplan ones, because the Kaplan book comes with 2 free practice exams. And then I remember I didn't do so hot on those, and I was kind of discouraged, because then I had to take my OAT like a week later, and I was just like,
I think what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to add points to the Kaplan test.
Yeah,
You're
I
supposed
think
to
so,
add like a 200, 300 points from what you get on those, because they're supposed to be harder than the real ones.
Okay, that makes sense, because then I actually took the OAT and I got significantly higher than what the Kaplan.
Yeah, because the Kaplan ones are really hard. So
okay, well there you go.
Yeah, you're supposed to, whatever your score is, you can add like 200 to make yourself feel like you're in the right range, because they are significantly harder.
Okay.
Some of those parts.
Alrighty. Well, that's how it's
What's considered average score? I think you have to Google that. It depends on the school.
It does.
UHCO, I think it's like 3 years ago, it was 330.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now.
I don't even know what the highest score is.
400.
400? Okay.
But I think the average was about 330, 340. Something like that. Also, what is your study routine like? I am also in optometry school. Hi!
Hi! What is our study routine like? It's hard to answer, because like...
It depends on the week, because...
It depends on what part of the semester.
Yeah, it depends on... Because if we're in exam mode, when we're testing like every day, like the week leading up to it, I'll be studying like 24/7.
Like every time we're awake, basically.
Yeah, it's like eat and study, and then go to a coffee shop, and then come back and study. First 3 weeks of school, I don't think I study much.
Yeah, you just kind of take it lax.
And then there are times throughout the semester where you can just cruise through for a few weeks, and then you are hardcore studying.
Yeah. So I don't know if that really answers.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that answers the question,
but
I guess it depends on the time of the semester.
Yeah.
How is UHCO doing with the COVID-19 right now? Are y'all still quarantined? Yes, we are.
Yes.
I have not left the apartment in about 3 days.
And I took a risk coming in.
Well, I mean, you just drove here.
Yeah. We don't even know how we're dealing with it because our professors are still trying to figure it out right now as we speak. Like, we don't even know if we have exams next week. I think we do.
Might be online. Hard.
Same.
Also, because we don't have a deadline for anything. That's kind of the reason why I've been slacking off, because I feel like I have all the time in the world to do anything. Like, there's really no deadline for us right now.
Right.
Yeah.
That we know of.
I know the third years are supposed to have their boards yesterday and today, and it's pushed back.
Pushed back a month.
Or until further notice. We don't even know it's a month.
I know.
Can you imagine?
So, like, if anything, they're the ones who are really getting it hard right now.
Yeah.
Because at least us, we were supposed to have 2 exams this week, but they canceled it. We're supposed to have 3 exams next week. We're not sure if those are still going on or not.
I think they are. It's just online. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I honestly have we have no idea.
Yeah, we don't know. But those poor third years, that's who I'm really
You know who's benefiting the most?
Who?
First years. They literally have nothing going on with their lives.
Probably. I know.
And, like, the labs aren't beneficial for them either, because they're like ocular anatomy lab and you know just things that aren't like a
ocular anatomy. Half of that was
just on looking at it.
Yeah.
So
enjoy your time for your series. I hope 4th year's graduation doesn't get pulled back.
I know, that'd be really sad. Do I have to have all my pre-optometry prerequisites courses done before applying? Wow, that was like a mouthful.
That is
pre-optometry,
pre-applying.
Pre-applying. No, I think you have to get it done this summer before the fall semester.
Before you begin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't actually know.
What are the best and worst parts of optometry school so far? The best part is, I want to say starting clinic, because seeing patients for the first time, that's really fun.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. And then...
Worst part was probably comp. I'm just kidding.
Worst part was studying. And exam week was really bad.
Yes. I think so too.
Just like managing your time, like wanting to do so much, but you can't.
No, you know what the worst part of optometry school is? Is that like, well, I've always been one to like prioritize school before anything. I'm sure we all have, because we've gotten this far, right? But like, if there's reunions or like a wedding or like, because I know a lot of people have had to miss out on like really big family events throughout the years because there's an exam.
There's always an exam.
There's always an exam. There's always like a practical. There's always like a mandatory workshop that we have to be at. So you kind of have to like sacrifice going out with friends on this day because you have an exam the next day, or going to someone's wedding, which is kind of like a big sacrifice to do for sure.
So like the sacrifices you've had to make.
Yeah.
So that's a downside as well. But 4 years.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 more years.
2.5.
Yeah.
We're not done with this.
We're not done. I don't know why. I was like, okay, we're done. We're gonna start school now.
Semester.
No, we actually have a summer semester, so we're not even done yet.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Ooh, we got deep again.
It's just a roller coaster right now.
I'll answer for you.
Okay, and I'll answer for you.
Okay. So, Karina's gonna move back to Arizona, but she's gonna visit me every week. She's gonna fly back every week.
I don't know.
That's
But...
Okay, so you're 24, so you're gonna be 34 in 10 years. And then Karina's probably gonna have 2 or 3 kids by then, and she's gonna live in a really pretty house with her boyfriend, Christian, who's probably gonna be her husband by then.
Hopefully, be my husband by then.
I can see you working in private practice. And I can see her having a partner with her private practice because I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to spend a lot of time with your kids, and you're not gonna be dedicated to working all the time.
I agree with that.
I can see you working 3 to 4 days, and your partner is taking over the rest, and then the other time you're with your family.
That actually sounds really nice. Yeah, I can see myself doing that. I didn't even know that. But I can definitely picture myself in that. That would be really nice, actually. Okay. For you, can I answer for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in 10 years, so I see you working, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, you know that Eye Center of Texas, where they have ophthalmologists and optometrists working there together, right?
Mm-hmm. Feels like a really big clinic of like, I think 4 ophthalmologists and maybe like 10 optometrists working.
At one single location?
Mm-hmm. Or I think they rotate around, but there's a lot of traffic.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. See, I could see you working somewhere like that, because I think you would really like to get into the path of stuff. Like, I think you would be so bored just doing like basic family, like 1 or 2. Like, you would want to like look at really cool stuff. Yeah, and then really challenge yourself, especially since I know you want to do that residency and path. So I can see you working somewhere like that, but like, I don't know if you would do 3 to 4 days. I think you would want to work a whole week. Because I think you...
Depends. Do I have a family yet?
In 10 years, I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think you're going to have any kids yet.
Oh, okay. Hopefully I'll be married by then.
For sure married.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think you're going to have kids.
Okay.
Because you're... Not saying that you're not a motherly person. It's just that, like, you're very, like, putting your career first and establishing that and being happy with your life. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But, yeah, I can definitely see Chris begging for kids. At that point. Or whoever your husband may be. I'm sorry, Chris.
Oh, it's funny.
But that's where I see you. And in Houston. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Eye Center of Texas. I think just you working
in general.
And like something more path oriented.
I can see that.
But that's where I see you in.
I can see that.
I don't know.
But I definitely, my end goal, like when I'm 50, I want to have a prep practice.
Oh, really? Like your own?
Yeah.
Or like own multiple?
Own one, and then maybe by the time 50, multiple? I don't know.
Ooh,
What was our chain?
Yeah, I think I can see that.
I have no idea. KT Optometry coming at your local store.
Yeah. But I forgot to mention, I definitely see you going out to like different conferences all over the country and like speaking.
I would love that. I feel like that would be such an amazing opportunity.
Because maybe you're doing a little research on the side with like your work on the daily. Yeah, I can see that for sure happening.
I see a very bright future for us.
Really pretty.
But it's what we like though. I'm more like that, and you're more like I like to stay and settle and set roots.
I just want to chill. This is just so much stress. This is enough stress for my whole lifetime. I just want to chill. From high school to now, is there anything you would have done differently going into the field? No. I don't think so.
I think everything worked out just the way it worked out.
Yeah.
How does studying in grad school compare to undergrad? Very hard. Imagine your upper level science course and how much you study for it. And then that times 7.
Yeah.
And you have labs on the side, and you have clinic on the side, and you have everything else on the side.
Yeah. And you know how like everything still has credit hours, and you'll have that one class for like 1 credit, and you're just like, oh, that's not going to be a lot of work. Not in grad school. They don't care anything about the credit hours. They all act as if their class is the only class you take, so they give you a lot of work to do.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Kennedy asked, did we do the Spanish homework? So we're all taking Spanish right now. And I did do my Spanish homework.
I just did mine last night, so yes.
We did. Kennedy, did you?
We did do the homework.
Okay, last question. How strict is optometry school with tattoos and piercing?
So in clinic, they're very strict.
Oh yeah, you definitely cannot.
Yeah.
You can't show your tattoo, and definitely not piercing unless they're like
if you're a girl, I think they allow us to have like the one piercing, like one ear piercing. But if you're a guy, definitely not even the ears. But yeah, no other piercings other than that, and definitely no tattoos. Like, you'll have to cover that up. And
I think you can't dye your hair a certain color either.
They're so strict. You can't dye your hair a certain color, and then like if you're a lady and you're gonna wear a dress or a skirt, like it has to be a certain like length above the knee, which is a struggle because I have really long legs. Okay, so it's really, I don't have this problem. Hard to find a skirt or a dress
everything
that goes
down. I do not have this problem. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much, Karina, for being in my video.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys. I didn't even say anything about below.
I just see how everyone do that.